Hello, hunters. This is your weekly social emotional learning lesson, and this is the last SEL lesson of the school year. So this week we are going to be talking about how to create a game plan for times during summer break where you may be vulnerable to your emotions and how you can prepare for those situations and use healthy coping strategies that we've talked about this school year and not have to fall back on unhealthy or unhelpful strategies. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, powerless, or out of control, these are signs that you are likely experiencing a strong or uncomfortable emotion, as we've been talking about all year long. Those are signs that you are vulnerable to your emotions right now and that you are thinking out of emotion mind instead of wise mind. And some of these emotions could be anxiety, sadness, or even anger. So if you create a game plan before those emotions become overwhelming or before you find yourself in a situation where you already know you're going to be vulnerable to emotion mind, it's going to help you manage those emotions and make healthy choices that are helpful rather than choices that are not as healthy and aren't effective in meeting your goals. And this game plan will help because, as we've talked about, in moments when you're feeling those really big emotions and you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, it's hard to think clearly. So having a plan and practicing a plan before helps to really break down those situations, helps you to quickly identify what you need in those moments, and it gives you a sense of control that you can manage the emotions and the emotions don't have to drive your decision making. So often, this game plan is called a cope ahead plan. And what a cope ahead plan does is you identify the situation where you're likely to experience those difficult, strong, uncomfortable emotions, those moments in time when you are vulnerable to your emotions. You identify the coping strategies that are effective for you and practical in that particular situation. And then before it happens, when your body is calm and relaxed, you visualize that potential problem situation, the one you identified in step one, and you practice the coping strategies that help you, the ones that you identified in step two. We do this because in the moments when you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling vulnerable to emotion mind, your body wants to handle the situation and those emotions by finding a strategy that is familiar, convenient, or easy to access, and quick. So, this often leads to those unhealthy coping strategies, such as avoiding or using chemicals or engaging in risky behavior. Just something that makes those feelings go away in the moment, but then can have long term negative consequences for you. So, with step one, let's just walk through this really quick. So, identify a future problem situation. Think about a situation that's likely to happen over summer break that will cause you to experience uncomfortable, strong, difficult emotions. So, for example, this is something probably all of us will experience wanting to get out of the house and do something with friends, but the friends are busy or the options are not available and you're bored. So, boredom is a feeling that nobody likes. Step two, then, is how do you plan to cope effectively? What strategies are you going to use? So you can think about strategies that will work for you, uh, that either you know on your own or that we've talked about during the school year. And the goal is just to get your body and your mind to relax and return to calm. So some of the strategies that might work in this situation is deep breathing, or the grounding strategies, or journaling for a little while, exercising, getting out and going for a walk, listening to your favorite songs, having a dance party, coloring, any of those things that are helping coping strategies that distract you in the moment to help you get through that boredom so you don't make decisions to use an ineffective or unhelpful coping strategy, such as maybe if you're bored, you sleep. You avoid the boredom by sleeping. all day. And while taking a nap may not be the worst thing, if every time you're bored, that's your response is to sleep for 4 hours out of the day, like that throws off your sleeping pattern, which just has consequences all throughout your life. If you're looking for ideas for coping strategies or resources, you can visit Denfeld's virtual focus room. This is what the Denfeld virtual focus room looks like. It is linked on the Denfeld School website, so you can always find it. There are a ton of ideas and resources for healthy coping strategies. Just click on different pages on the drop-down menu. We update often. Come back and visit as you need to. Step 3 then, after you have identified that emotionally vulnerable situation, you've identified the healthy coping strategies that you're going to use, you're going to decide when and where are you going to practice that plan. So think about the time of day when you are the calmest and least likely to be interrupted. And think about the area in your house or out in the community where you feel the most comfortable to try out these skills. So, for example, you could say, I will spend 10 minutes each morning before school, or if you're practicing during summer, you'll spend 10 minutes each morning at your kitchen table and you're going to color and journal doing breathing exercises. Or you could say, I'm going to take a walk every evening at 6 p.m. for 20 minutes. The goal is just to identify where you're going to practice. Creating this plan, the Cope Ahead plan, before those strong emotions become unmanageable or overwhelming, or before that situation where you already know you're going to be vulnerable, is the way for your body to create that stop button, like we talked about a few weeks ago, so that you know in those moments what you're going to do, so you're responding to the situation and not reacting. And again, it's super important to do this while you're feeling relaxed and not while you're feeling overwhelmed, so that these healthy strategies become what is familiar, convenient, and quick for your body. And cut yourself some slack, because learning new skills and being willing and open in the process of learning and practicing takes time, patience, and persistence. And sometimes it feels awkward and uncomfortable. But just know that if you commit the time to planning and practicing, you are going to more effectively manage those strong or uncomfortable emotions. So you may want to take a screenshot of this slide. And these are resources you can reach out to if you find that your emotions are becoming difficult to manage on your own, or you're really struggling to find healthy coping strategies that work and that are convenient for you. You can always reach out to these resources for some additional support, but especially during the summer months when your trusted adults aren't readily available at school. And this video will also be available on the Denfeld website. It'll be available on the virtual focus room, and it's also going to be available on YouTube. So if you need to come back and find these resources, or even just to go over how to create a game plan, you are going to have access to this video during the summer. And now we've reached the end of our social emotional learning journey for this school year. In order to finish this lesson and finish SEL for the school year, you're going to go back into the Canvas assignment and click on the link. There is a brief reflection activity and your weekly exit ticket. Have a great summer break, and we will see you back in the fall for some more SEL learning.